Diesel, the new engine, was sulking. The trucks would not stop singing rudely at him. Duck was horrified. "Shut up!" he ordered and bumped them hard. "I'm sorry our trucks were rude to you, Diesel."
All right, I already have to give credit to Duck. Sure, he may have not been very helpful at first to Diesel, but that was only because Diesel felt he could handle things all by himself. Of course, now that he looked like a bumbling fool, Diesel wanted to throw all his issues onto Duck.
"It's all your fault. You made them laugh at me." "Nonsense," said Henry. "Duck would never do that. We engines have our differences, but we never talk about them to the trucks."
Wow! Even the drama queens of Sodor believe this to be a fact. This is a very intriguing turn of events. Considering the fact that Gordon, Henry, and James were not that supportive of Duck, this is the exact reverse of what was expected from them. This shows that even they think Duck has some decency. But Diesel didn't believe this to be true at all, because he was made the laughingstock of the rolling stock. So he conjured up a method of getting rid of Duck entirely. The idea he ended up coming up with was spreading lies about him. And what better way to do that than to utilize the exact thing that humiliated him? That's right, Diesel used the troublesome trucks to his own advantage, telling them supposed names Duck had come up with for James, Gordon, and Henry.
"Oh, ho, ho!" guffawed the trucks. "Let's tell him and pay Duck out for bumping us." They laughed rudely at the engines as they went by.
Those giggling hamsters. What iconic minions. Forget those yellow pill-fast talking gibberish monsters from Despicable Me. These are the real minions. Listen to those laughs. Unfortunately for Duck, Gordon, James, and Henry all found out before he even knew about it. Meanwhile, Duck was finishing up his work as the other three boneheads schemed behind his back. I'm just curious though, do they not have work to do? It's like all these three do as of late is sit on their sidings and gossip or judge others.
Duck was tired out. The trucks had been cheeky and troublesome. He wanted a rest in the shed.
And by the time Duck got back to Tidmouth Sheds, he was already being shooed away. Weird how this scene ironically mimics the same moment when Duck and Percy blocked the entrance to Tidmouth Sheds. But for Duck, he had no idea what was going on, and neither did Top Hat, of which he asked the three big tenderheads to explain.
"Duck called me a galloping sausage," spluttered Gordon. "Rusty red scrap iron," hissed James. "I'm old square wheels," fumed Henry. "Well, Duck, certainly not, sir. No steam engine would be as mean as that."
Well, I think that lays out the case fairly clear for Duck. I have to say, though, Diesel really knows how to make some comical names. Also, if the three drama queens felt Duck wouldn't do that to begin with, then it's amazing how easily gullible these guys are. You guys literally just mentioned that saying anything to the trucks is a big no-no. Diesel's the new one on Sodor, and he's the one accusing Duck of being a treasonist. Now all of a sudden, Diesel has more street creds than Duck? Doesn't that seem odd to you three? Of course not. Just like how off-center Gordon's left eye wasn't odd enough to the production crew when they filmed this shot. Fix those eyes. Then Diesel rolled up to add his 2 cents. I don't know why, though. Nobody asked for his. And being that he was the one who created all this friction, his 2 cents added nothing of value to the disagreement. So with that, Top Hat came to only one conclusion.
"I'm sorry, Duck, but you must go to Edward's station for a while. I know he will be glad to see you." "As you wish, sir." Duck trundled sadly away, while Diesel smirked with triumph.
Ah, shucks. That's ungodly bothersome to watch. This is apparently going to have another part to the story, which I'm not big on, but this is definitely something most viewers would want to see completed. Notice again we have a multi-part story that involves very few locations and Henry. What is this, like the key of making several sub-stories to an overall arc? I digress, though. This is a story that certainly is one to remember. As I mentioned in Pop Goes the Diesel, it was quite transparent that Diesel was not going to be the most incorrigible engine. But this particular action that Diesel just executed may not have been expected from every viewer. It is most likely the first major deceitful lie ever told thus far in the series, and one that should never be replicated. As to why the three big tenderheads couldn't figure out that Duck wouldn't do that, just shows how clogged their smoke boxes really are. Aside from having nice manners when he first arrived, what exactly has Diesel done that makes him a better choice over Duck? Obviously, nothing. It was nice though to see at first they did have Duck's back initially. This does mean they had a brain to begin with. They just got lost in the steam somewhere. I also feel bad that Sir Topham Hatt has to deal with all this childish bullcrap. Although he sent Duck away, at least he didn't do it angrily. So I think that means the gears upstairs are turning, meaning that he's not sure yet who's to blame, but this is the quickest solution to cool everyone's boilers. But calling names? Really? What is Top Hat, a babysitter now? All because Diesel is the real snob of the shed. Plus, with the fact that not every story ends on a happy note is an important lesson to learn. Sometimes roadblocks are so big they can't be overcome within the time people want it moved. And although multi-part stories aren't my thing, they are effective in story building. This episode's true purpose was to highlight just how misleading and nefarious Diesel really is. He's also unfortunately creating a bad reputation for other Diesels that may happen to come later in the series. We'll see though. The locations here are about as diverse as looking at the engines doing nothing all day. That's not a complaint, but the camera doesn't take in too many areas. Mainly the locations are the same as the previous episode. Knapford Yards and Tidmouth Sheds are really the only two major highlights. The Tidmouth Goods Station is seen, but only for a short time. Music, though, is heavily significant here. It's the same two big themes for Duck and Diesel, but the real emotion setter is the sad Henry theme used for when Duck is told to leave. That's just, ouch. Hurtful. Next episode is A Close Shave. Thanks for watching.